All right, day 2 on the Camaro build here. And we are actually just going to do a quick walk around and show some of the things we found when we tore this car apart and why we decided to kind of go drastic measures and replace everything. So you can see the shock tower. There's a hole there, which really wouldn't matter. That would get cut out when we're doing the mini tubs anyway. But trunk floor drop off over here. Like I said, someone put GM quarters on this car a while back, but you can see the trunk floor drop off's not too pretty. It looks like they actually patched it in, and that's just not anywhere near nice enough. So a little bit of crusty back here, like that gas tank strap's crusty. It's just edgy enough to where we just need to go through. This trunk floor drop off is actually nice, but we're probably gonna have to change it anyway. Coming up further forward here, this frame rail's decent. This frame rail's crusty, which we knew we were going to replace at least the front section, but now that whole rail is going to get replaced along with that rail too. And up here, you can see the patches they put in. And, you know, they'll get you by. You're not going to fall through, but this car is going to be way nicer than what these floors are now. And the further we get up here, the worse they get. And it actually goes right up into the toe board. So we'll actually pull this whole firewall out and replace that whole thing. From up there all the way down to this seam here is the firewall. It's considered the firewall. So we'll just replace that whole piece. And over here is where it really gets bad. And then you get into the tunnel and it's just, it looks like they put it in there with a hatchet. It's just really bad. So anyway, that's what we found. I know at first glance this car doesn't look that bad, but that's why we decided to do what we're going to do. So let's get this car dropped back down and we'll get the trim pulled off and the glass pulled out. That's what we're talking about. Look down in that dash, it's all rotted up, flaking apart. That gives us access. You remove that cowl panel, now we can get these clips off, get this lower chrome off, and get that windshield out. We have these clips off through here. We got the trim pulled apart, but there are little clips on the side here that have a through bolt. It's kind of behind the fender there. Can't really see it, but usually people don't put these back, but in this case they either never took it off or they did put it back. So let's get in there and get that off. Every once in a while you'll get one of these that just will not let loose from the trim. You try your best not to bend the trim up, but they still have to come off. This trim is actually in pretty bad shape. I think the customer is going to replace it. Could send it off and have it restored, but it's pretty bent up. Not from me taking it off, but it was bent up from before. Alright, we have the top and the sides done. We're actually running into a problem. It's so rusty at the bottom here, and there's so much body filler on the inside that it's hard to run that tool through there. It's grabbing on the body filler and the rust is flaking off. So we're going to take these stops off and see how much we can get through there, and then just try and pull the glass. It actually has a stone chip right there, and the customer wasn't really, he was pretty much dead set on replacing the windshield anyway. So we'll see if we're still going to try and get it out in one piece, but at this point with that rust and the body filler on the inside, it's anyone's guess. This, by the way, is not the right tool if you're trying to save the glass and or paint. Obviously this, the roof's coming off. It's going to be replaced, so we're not worried about the paint there, and the glass is probably going to most likely be replaced anyway. So this tool is a fast way of doing it. If we really needed to make sure this was saved and it was nicely painted, we'd have someone come in and professionally remove it. But this tool will get the job done in a case like this, but definitely not your best option if you need to save the glass. And we were in fact able to get that glass out in one piece. It did not break, so that's good. The bad is, well, it's kind of what I expected. This dash, some of the metal actually peeled off as I was pulling the windshield out. You can see down in there and see the body filler someone used. That whole piece is delaminating, but that's fine. We're going to replace it anyway. This is a prime example of why you don't use body filler to repair something, because it's not a repair at all. It's a cover up. Not only does it not last that long, it actually does more damage than good. It traps the moisture in there and accelerates the rust. So the only proper way to fix that is cut it out and put new metal in. And that's probably going to do it for today on this project. We did get some phone calls in for sheet metal for this car, and we have some parts coming for the S10 project too. We have a